I'm going to throw some dirt in here and then start drama. So don't get mad at me.
Okay.
Back when Elvis was alive, the book they were working on it, Elvis, What Happened. It's like now
Yeah.
it's like a worth money. This book, it's like a collector's item. And
Yeah.
somebody had sent it to me. I have it here. It was written by Red West, Sonny West, and Dave. Dave,
Dave
he
Heller.
wrote
Yeah.
it. He
Yeah.
wrote this book right here. And
Mhm.
when this book was public, well, when it came out, this really bothered Elvis. It really hurt him.
Elvis got the galleys before the book actually came out.
Yeah. Yeah, he got the preview of the book before it came,
Mhm.
because the book came out around when he died in 77.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
um and these guys, Red, Sonny, and Dave, um, it's almost what you said in a way. I'll let you take over, but they wrote the book, but then their words got switched around on them from the people.
Well, from what I understand, I mean, was Elvis upset about this? Let me just say this. I mean, I consider you a friend.
Yeah.
If I come out with a book like that about you, how would you feel?
I would honestly, I would call you, and if I got the previews, I go, Billy, we were friends. You
I'm
taking
gonna kill you if I see that.
well, yeah, Brooklyn style. It's like, hey man,
Yeah.
you saw the movie Goodfellas, the
Yeah,
opening, Billy
exactly.
Bat in the trunk. You might be there, Billy.
So yeah. So Elvis was human. First and foremost, let's make this perfectly clear, okay?
Yeah.
Elvis was a human being. It hurt him deeply. First off, that three guys, that he loved and trusted. I mean, especially, Red had been with him since, he was a teenager, and then to see this come out, what was about to come out, it devastated him. It almost killed him. If it didn't, I mean, I'm sure it had a lot to do with it. Okay. Because he was going to have to deal with that stress of, man, what are my fans going to think about me now? So, but then at the end, before he passed away, he said, I forgive him.
He did.
Forgave him. Yeah, he did.
He did forgive him. Did he
Yes,
ever?
he did.
There's on the
He
internet.
even talked to him and said, if there's anything I can ever do for you, let me know. I'll always be there for you. That was his exact words to all three of them.
Well, now Red, he knew him before he was famous, Elvis, right? And they were in high school.
Yeah, Red knew him when he was in high school. So that's how they got to know each other. Red took up for him. There was some football players that was going to cut his hair one time in the bathroom, and Red stood up for him and stopped him. Said, no, you're not. And Elvis never forgot that. So when he became famous, he said, Red, you want to be bodyguard? And he said, yeah. So that's how that started.
So Red wasn't a hanger on it. He was there in the beginning.
He was there. Neither Sonny wasn't a hanger on. None of the guys that were with Elvis were hanger on. The guys that were around Elvis were there because Elvis wanted them there. If he didn't want you there, you wouldn't be there. I mean, it's that simple. And I mean, the thing that got me was, if it was so bad, they never complained when they were working for him how bad it was. The thing is, like I tell people, I said, they read the book, they said, I said, have you ever been through Graceland? They go, oh, yeah. I said, how many times? I said, I said, did you see that dungeon he had down there that he made people stay? Oh, no, I didn't see that. I said, there wasn't one. You could go out there. That goes both ways, man. You can come in and you can go out anytime you want to. So,
yeah.
I mean, here again, the publisher, that guy, Steve Dunleavy, the guy that actually did the writing, took a lot of poetic license on that book too. Because I mean, I heard Red. I talked to Sonny. I was with him a couple of weeks before he passed away, and we talked about it. And he said, "Billy, half that stuff was made up." And I said, "Sonny, let's not worry about that right now. Let's just talk about you, okay? Let's get you better." And he just kept saying, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." I said, Elvis knew that. I said, "That's all you have to worry about." I said, because I talked to him right after Elvis passed away.
Yeah.
And I told him straight up, I said, Sonny, that's a Judas act, and you know it. He said, Billy, I'm so sorry. I said, man, don't say it to me. You need to be saying that to Elvis. I said, he's not here now, but you need to be saying it. And I know Red did it. I heard that he apologized to some of the guys. And as far as I know, Dave did too. I mean, I love these guys. I mean, I grew up with them. They were like my older brothers. It was like, when it happened, but, I learned what Elvis taught me early in life. I've got to learn to forgive people. And I did, I made my peace with Sonny. And I was glad I was there a couple of weeks before he passed away, because Sonny, to me, when I was growing up, that I always wanted to be kind of like Sonny because he was always the cool biker dude, that was working for Elvis. Had that long black curly hair, beard, riding motorcycle. Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Yeah, and then you see him sick, and it's not the same guy. That
you grow up, and just
you grow up. Ego, and sometimes it's you can't hold on to hate, and you got to let it
no, and he didn't, and I'm glad he didn't. I mean, and Elvis couldn't. The worst word. I mean, there's a lot of cuss words in the world. Okay, the world's worst to him was hate. He said that, Billy, that's completely opposite of love and everything I stand for. He said he couldn't even stand to hear that word hate. And I mean, I don't like to use it myself. I mean, today I won't use it.
Yeah.
I mean, I never say I hate this, I hate that. I don't do no. I dislike something strongly, but I don't hate anybody or anything.
I need to have more conversations with you to retune my brain, because sometimes I use these words, I'm all out of,
Everybody does, but see, everybody's made it into. I mean, Elvis taught me this early in life that the word hate is worse than any cuss word that you could ever use, except for the GD one. Now that's a good, because somebody asked me this. It was on one of those podcasts. Somebody said, well, if he was a Christian, why did he say that? Well, being a Christian doesn't mean you're perfect. It means you're not perfect. It means you're a sinner, and you put your faith in God and His mercy, that no matter what you do, as long as you believe that He came and died for your sins, you're going to go to heaven. And it doesn't mean you're going to be perfect. No, far from it. And that's what I don't understand these people. They say, well, you're a Christian, yeah. Well, that means this. No, it means I'm just like you. I mean, I've got my problems and faults and everything else, and I pray for them. Every day. Please make me stop doing that.
Absolutely. Let me ask you a question. I saw a picture of you online, and you're kneeling down to Lisa Marie Presley's grave, and it just was the photograph I saw. I don't have it here, but it kind of got me a little sad. And I was just trying to figure. I wish I had to post it up, but what was going through your mind while you're out there? You're looking at this young woman who passed away. What was?
I never thought that day would ever happen in my life. Just like I could never put Elvis and the word death together. I just couldn't see that. But when it happened, I mean, I still have a hard time today. And what I was doing is I got down on my knees and prayed, and said, please God, I hope she's with her dad now. And that he can spend time with her, which the thing that really made me sad about the whole thing was me, Rick, and David, we got to spend 17 years with him, up until I was 24 when he passed away, and she only had 9 years. And I mean, if she would have gotten to be older, her life would have been a whole lot different if he would have been, because he was going to be that strong daddy influence in her life. He was going to make sure of that. And I mean, Elvis and kids, the way he talked, I mean, the way he treated me, Rick, and David, I mean, he never yelled at us. He never cussed at us. He never hit us. He would sit and talk to us and explain, how we did something wrong. And then we'd go, that little light would come on in our head. Oh, wow. Yeah. We understand what you mean now. Yeah. We were wrong. And that's how he would do things. And she missed out on that. I mean, she missed out on that strong alpha male father figure that all kids need in their life.
She was lost. She was lost, the poor girl. I guess, and the divorce wasn't easy on her. Have you ever spoken to Priscilla after Elvis passed away?
Okay, the only time I had was shortly after we put Vernon Presley in the ground, and this was in 1979. We were sitting at, me, Rick, and David were sitting at the kitchen table, which is in the kitchen. And it's that little L-shaped little area right there. We were sitting there, and she comes up and says, "Here you go, boys." And she drops this paperwork in front of us. We go, "What's this?" These are some. I want you to sign over the rights to these home movies that you're in. If I get anything going, I'll make sure you boys are taken care of. And we went, "What? Don't worry, I'm going to take care of you." Okay. I mean, the Vernon not even in the ground 5 minutes. And okay, so we sign it. Next thing I know, I'm sitting watching TV and I see there I am running around with Elvis and stuff. I'm going, whoa, what happened here? So much for taking care of us. And then she started trashing my mom. And then that's when I was in the middle of doing the book, Elvis, My Brother. And she said, I heard some stuff that you said in that book. I said, yeah. I said, payback's a bit, isn't it? I didn't say it. But it's, you know what?
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
said, I said, well, that's for trashing my mom and trashing Elvis. And I hung up.
You hung up on that. Was the last conversation you had with her.
That was it.
Wow.
I mean, here again, you're leading me into, I want to say a lot more, but I can't. I'm not going to bash Priscilla, even though that seems like the popular thing to do today. I mean, I'm not going to fall in that wagon of doing that.
Priscilla comes off as this, in the movie, this innocent young girl, like never been with anybody before. But then this is just my point of view. I'm speaking clearly for me. Can I tell you how I see it all?
Sure.
All right. And you correct me. I don't think she was a virgin. I don't think Elvis was a first. Or maybe she lied to Elvis. I don't know. And I'm not an Elvis connoisseur guy. I think she knew what she was getting. She courted him. She trapped him. And the only one who suffered from this, really, I feel, was Lisa. That's why. And then from that, her pain, I feel like it went down to her son, Benjamin. It's very sad. When I went to Graceland and walked out, I felt very sad. Why? Because, okay, Elvis Presley, rock and roll star, your brother, you knew him different. I knew the music, but you knew Elvis walking around Graceland. You saw him in his pajamas. You saw the real Elvis that nobody's ever going to see. Nobody's ever going to see, but you did. You did. Mm-hmm. Your brother, I saw an interview with your brother when they found Elvis passed away, how he turned him over. That's heavy. I was watching this interview, an old interview he did, and that's heavy alone. Okay.
Yeah.
But I just felt that Priscilla, it's almost like Joan Collins from Dynasty. Who remembers that show? Is she that woman? Is she that ruthless? That's what I want to know.
Well, let me just say it this way. You didn't hear that little buzzer go, you're wrong. So you didn't hear that, did you?
You didn't hear. So ADIKA is saying Priscilla is ruthless. She's ruthless. And
Well, here's a perfect, and this is as far as I'm going to go with. Remember the cartoon series that came out, Agent Elvis?
Yes. That was ridiculous.
Okay. Yeah. She was not only a co-producer on this, she was also a creative consultant and, also created this series. And then when it came out, she started saying, oh, I didn't know it was going to be like it. Really, Priscilla? You saying you didn't know anything about this. And I mean, your name is all over this thing. So I'll just say, she does this. Elvis's birthday just ended. So between now and August, you're going to hear her say some more bad stuff about Elvis. But then when August and January rolls around, she starts talking about making herself out to be the grieving widow. And that's as far as I'm going to go with it. And that's the furthest from the truth. I mean, the thing is Elvis divorced her. It wasn't the other way around. He divorced her. Everybody thinks, oh, they separate. No, he divorced her.
And the movies make it like, especially that movie Elvis and Me. I remember, I didn't read the book, but the movie.
Yeah, she made my mom look like a piece. When she did that
in that movie.
Now I know the first thing that's going to come out, everybody's going to say this. Well, Billy, your mom did this and did that. You're right, and I'm going to tell you something. She took that with her to her grave because I was talking. I mean, I lived with her the last 2 years of her life, and I can't tell you how many times she apologized, and she kept saying, I'm so sorry I did that. I didn't think they was going to go that far with it. I said, Mom, I tried to tell you when they was offering you the deal. I said, don't do that. That's the first time, because I had to take her to go to the deal because she didn't like to drive at night. So I took her to dinner. And I'm sitting there, and they're talking, and all of a sudden I start catching these words, and I'm going, whoa. And I finally just stood up. Mom said, what's up? I said, and this is the first time I ever cussed in front of my mom. And I said some strong ones too. I said, blank, 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 blank. You can't do this. I said, I'm out of here, Mom. Get up right now. Let's go. You can't do this. Oh, they're not going there. And this one guy sitting at the end of the table, oh, I would say it for this kind of money. I said, you probably would. I said, let's go, Mom. And she said, no, I want to hear what they got to say. Okay. So she called me back. And then shortly when it came out, I was in the store and I was so embarrassed. I was, oh God, my mom did this. And I bought it. And she was sitting there drinking coffee at the table. I dropped it right in front of her. Said, that's what you just did. I said, now you got to live with that. And I said, plus what you've done and said is going to be reflected back on your sons. You understand that? It's called guilt by association. So we've had to carry that ever since then. But I was thankful I was there before she passed away. And she said, I'm so sorry. I said, Mom, you don't apologize to me. You need to be praying to God for this, because I can't help you on this.
Yeah.
But I mean, that brought so much embarrassment on my family. I mean, me and my brothers, we just, oh my God. So
it was tough on you brothers. It was
tough. Yeah. I mean, that's why everybody, when you say the Stanleys, everybody, they either like us or they hate us. Most of them hate us, but I'm at the point, I don't care. You don't know me. So how can you formulate an opinion on me? Because you don't even know me. And you're basing your hate on what somebody read or what somebody's great grandmother that was a friend of and a cousin to said to you. You don't know me. I don't know these people out here. But
no.
One thing I can say about these people who are sitting here watching this right now, and the same thing to you, I love you guys. I mean, I'm not afraid to say it. I love everybody. And that's my mission in life, is to bring people together, not bring division. And we've got enough of that going on right now in the world. We don't need any more. So
you do have enough of that. Mike Stone wrote a book, and I was actually
Mike Stone was a good guy. It still is, as far as I know. I mean, he was the first undefeated heavyweight full contact karate champion in Kempo.
Yeah, this is the book. He wrote this. I had him on my show, but when I had Mike on the show, he didn't badmouth Elvis. And, he talked about the phone call where he got on the phone with Elvis and what Elvis said to him and all that. But he actually said in the interview, Elvis was the most handsome man you ever, first of all, ever met in your life.
Elvis thought he was betrayed by Mike, because that was, anybody that's in karate, it's almost like a brotherhood. It's just like a musician, when you're playing in a band. I mean, it's the same thing. It's you build that bond. And I mean, it was just kind of a betrayal thing to him. And I mean, it hurt. Yeah. But then after a while, he started saying, Mike did me a favor. So, he did.
So at the end, Elvis did say,
oh yeah,
off the air, Mike did him a favor.
Did me a favor. Yeah. I heard him say it several times.
So for the fans that really hate Mike, there's no need to hate Mike.
No,
No,
don't hate Mike. There's no reason to.
That's good. That's good.
It wasn't just Mike. There was other people too. Okay. So let's not just single out one guy. I mean, there was a dance instructor and there's some other people too. I'm not going to get into that, but there was other people.
You're not the only one there. See that Keith Richards song. You're not the only one. The Stones, right. Mixed Emotions, whatever it's called. And then also, people give Dave a hard time with the book too. I have him coming on the show. And
Dave is a good guy. I mean, and Dave will be the first one to tell you what I'm telling you right now is the same thing they went through with, when we did that Elvis, We Love You Tender. They took our words, man, and they just twisted them right. But we put your name. And then when you're out doing a promotional tour for it, well, you said that. No, that's not the way I said it, and that's why, I learned pretty early in life. I mean, I was only like 25, 26, and I'm having to do business deals. I mean, all I was just a jet mechanic, next thing I know, I'm having to take up for myself and learn all this legal jargon in the entertainment industry and, book industry. I didn't know anything about it. I mean, me, Rick, and David, we weren't thrust into the limelight like that before.
Yeah.
We didn't know what to expect. I mean, Elvis was used to it, but we weren't. I mean, there's pictures of us with Elvis on the set of Speedway, and people say, how come you look confused or not happy? I said, we weren't confused or not happy. It was just, there's like 10 or 12 photographers yelling, look over here. And we're trying to keep up with that. And we weren't used to that. And then after he passed away, we were thrust into the limelight, and it was like, I'm standing there like I'm naked. Huh? I don't know what's going on here, you know. So
now the last years of Elvis, like the I guess what 70, definitely like what 75, 76. Elvis' health he wasn't doing well, his health wise.
yeah, the sad thing to this is, did he have a problem with prescription drugs? Yes, he did. But see, Elvis was from a generation that believed in what doctors said, and okay, if the doctor says it's okay, then it's okay. Well, some of these doctors had other agendas and motives. So I mean, a lot of them got cars and homes and everything else too. And I mean, I'm not going to get in on those guys, but you know, they helped put him there where he's at.
Now, where were you when you heard the news when Elvis passed away?
I was working, like I said, I was a jet mechanic.
Yeah,
and I was getting ready to go because I always help Rick and David pack up and get Elvis to the airport, and I'd get him on the plane, and you know, see you when you get back. So I was on the way there, but I stopped at a store, and I walked in and they announced it on the radio. I'm just going to do a quick version because it's a long story. I heard it on the radio.
We interrupt this program for a special news bulletin.
Elvis Presley died today at Baptist Hospital in Memphis, Tennessee.
Good evening. Elvis Presley died today. He was 42. Apparently it was a heart attack. He was found at his home in Memphis, not breathing. His road manager tried to revive him. He failed.
Elvis Presley, whose country rock guitar and gyrating hips launched a new era in popular music, died this afternoon at Baptist Hospital in Memphis, Tennessee at the age of 42.
Elvis Presley, the singer who shaked, rattled, and rolled his way to rock history in the 1950s, died today in Memphis. He was 42.
And I mean, my whole world stopped right there. The guy behind the counter had to start shaking me. You okay? You okay? And I just left my Coke right there, and I walked outside, and I was just about to get in the car, and I saw a payphone. So I stopped and walked over to the payphone, and I just pulled out a quarter, and a lady answered. She was crying. All I said was, "This is Billy. Is it true what I heard on the radio?" And they said, "Yes, you need to get up here as fast as you can." I just dropped the phone, I walked to my car and put my hand on the door handle. And all of a sudden I just fell to my knees and just cried, "God, why?" That's all I could think. I was crying, just why? I was going, all these things started running through my head. Why weren't you there? Maybe you could have done something. Maybe you could have helped him or something. And, you know, all this stuff was running through my head. And I'm so thankful that when I pulled up to the gates, there was a couple of policemen. They were because this whole street was pretty much blocked by that time. I mean, they was having to direct traffic because of all the fans. And a couple of them knew me, so they kind of parted the crowd. People knew me, and some of them knew me in the crowd, was yelling my name and patting the car, and "We're praying for you, Billy," and this and that. And, you know, I went up. I parked in the back like I always did, and there was my two brothers, Rick and David, standing in the backyard. I just walked up. "Man, what happened? What happened?" They said, "He's gone, Billy." And I'm standing there trying to gather my thoughts, you know, and I see Lisa. She sees me, and she rides up on her golf cart and says, "You want to go for a ride, Uncle Billy?" I'm sorry if I get a little emotional. I said, "No, sweetie." I said, "I will a little bit later." Okay. I said, "Right. I just want to talk to Uncle Rick and Uncle David." She said, "Okay, I'll come back and get you." I wish I'd have taken that ride with her now, but.
And time can do so much.
She had no clue what happened to her father.
Well, that's when she pulled away. I said, "Does she know?" And David said, "Yeah, she saw it, but they're waiting to get in touch with Priscilla for Priscilla to tell her that her daddy has passed away." And I just, oh God, man. So I said, "Where's Daddy?" And that Vernon. And they said, "He's in the kitchen." I said, "I'm gonna go in there and talk to him for a little bit." And they said, "Yeah, you might not want." I said, "No, I need to." And I've never seen anybody moan or cry like that before. I mean, it's like something out of the Bible, the way he was weeping. I was just, I mean, my heart just broke right there. I was, God, man. I was, "God, give me strength." And I walked up to him, and he stood up, to embrace me, and he kind of fell a little bit. So I grabbed him and I was holding him. All he kept saying, because Vernon always called him Sonny. So he said, "Sonny's gone, Billy." He said, "Sonny's gone." I said, "I know, Daddy, I know." I said, "But he's with God right now." And so when the maids come up and said, he might want to need to sit down, I said, "Yeah." So we eased him back in his chair, and I knelt down next to him, and I was just there if he needed me. And after a few minutes, I said, "Well, I guess I'm going to go back out and talk to Rick and David, Daddy." I said, "If you need me, I'll be here." He said, "Okay, thank you, Billy." He said, I may need you here pretty soon." But that's when somebody said, "The doctor is on his way up right now." And I said, "Okay, he'll be in better hands here." So I went back out and talked to Rick and David for a little bit. And to be honest with you, I don't know what happened after that. I don't.
And Elvis was up at his body. They didn't remove it. It was still up.
No, he was gone. He was
gone.
He was dead. I mean, he was at the hospital, pronounced dead, and he was probably in the morgue by then. I just don't remember too much of that day. I know I went home and I started drinking heavily.
Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, this picture that you have just seen is the last live performance that Elvis ever done on stage. Thank you. God bless you.
And I had to sit up there when they brought Elvis back. I was part of the security, so the fans could go through Graceland and see Elvis one more time. And I was sitting there on the stairs with it was me and Charlie and David, my younger brother, sitting on the stairs, and we were watching this. Now, another Charlie story was at the funeral. We were kind of everybody. Who was there? I said, I can't tell you who was there. I wasn't paying attention to that. I was mourning my brother that's laying over in a casket. Okay, I can't tell you, but Charlie was sitting there, and Charlie, being Charlie, he said, "There's Priscilla, Ann Margaret, Linda Thompson, Ginger Alden, and a couple of other girls." He said, "Only Elvis would pull something like this just to get them all in one room together." I said, "Charlie, you crazy. You crazy blank blank." And I gave him a hug. I said, "Man, I needed that, brother. I needed that." And he said, "Elvis is laughing about it too." I said, "I know he is." But I needed that so bad.
Yeah.
God, thank you, Charlie.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Yeah, man. So they had a viewing that everybody could walk by and see Elvis. And I remember
two girls got killed that night.
What?
Two girls got killed later that night. Where the gates were out there. A drunk driver came through there and hit two girls and killed them.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
It was a very sad day. I'm not only losing that, but losing two fans too because of some drunk driver.
Tony, very, very sad day for you and your family and for all of us fans. Yeah, absolutely. What's the whole story? Because Elvis wasn't originally buried in Graceland. He was buried somewhere else. They tried to steal him?
He had a crypt. It was a mausoleum at, I think it's Forest Lawn or something like that. Forest Hills. Anyway, but there was three guys trying to steal his body.
There was no security there?
No. I mean, they didn't think about it. I mean, but the police caught these three guys trying to steal Elvis's body, and they arrested them. So when that happened, that's when Vernon did some investigating and got it to where they could move Elvis to, this has been running through my mind ever since few weeks ago. They brought him back to Graceland. And one of his favorite songs in the whole world.
Your hometown looks the same as the lady did the green.
Was Tom Jones' Green Grass at Home?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they buried him underneath the green. I can't even say it now.
Green grass at home.
He's buried under the green grass at home in Graceland. The first time he heard it, he was driving back from L.A. and George Klein being the DJ. And so they was in Arkansas and they heard the song. I don't know how many times they stop between Arkansas and Memphis, and they would stop the bus and get Elvis would get one of the guys. Elvis just heard that song. Play it again. So they did it several times, and it was funny when they got home because the next day Elvis was laughing with George, and George, I never got so many requests in my whole life, Elvis, for one song. But he loved that song, Green Green Grass at Home.
That is Mr. Billy Stanley, and you can catch this interview unedited right here on Members Only or in Patreon. In the meantime, make sure you click on your screen for our next episode. Post your comments down below, and we'll be releasing more clips from my conversation with Billy. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notifications tab. Until then, who loves you, baby? We do. Thanks for watching.